Agahon, coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan, here in Western Visayas in the Philippines. I'm having my morning cup. Today, it's going to be tea today. I'm having a green tea. I had some blood work done yesterday, and my creatinine level is a little elevated. So I might have to give up coffee here for a while. So I might have to go back to my green tea. I always keep green tea. Actually, my friend actually recommended sour soup tea. So I'm going to check into that. And I've also had like malunggay tea. So I might have to go back to tea for a while here. Just to keep all my lab work within range. Good morning, Charlie Latz, my good friend in Boston. Just getting my day started here. I started early because I've been on the news. I've been keeping track of this typhoon. Typhoon Oppon, O-P-O-N-G. This is the number 15 typhoon in the Philippines this year, and it's affecting our area here in Western Visayas. It made landfall already in Eastern Visayas, but this typhoon is big. The scope of it, I'm looking on my Windy app. I got the Windy app going on here, and it's pretty much causing rain pretty much the entire Luzon and entire Visayan region. So two-thirds of the Philippines, it's causing rain. But the only area I don't see it affecting is Mindanao, the southern portion of the Philippines. I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna start with the weather report from the Pag-asa website. What they're currently saying at the Pag-asa website. Pag-asa is our weather people here in the Philippines. As of 3 a.m. today, the center of severe tropical storm Oppon, northern Samar. Like I said before, that Samar and Leyte region here in the Philippines, eastern Visayas, that gets hit a lot, coming from the Pacific Ocean. That is normally the trajectory of typhoons here. Either Eastern Visayas or you get up to like Central Luzon, Bicol region, and then Northern Luzon. That's where a lot of the typhoons here in the Philippines hit. So it had made landfall, and now it's gonna go on a northwest trajectory. Actually, I'm looking at my Windy app, on my laptop. I got my laptop going, and it looks like it's already at Masbate. Masbate, our friend Michael White, the thriving Philippine expat. That's his area. Looks like that's where the eye of the typhoon is gonna be going through the Masbate area, and again going northwest direction. And the winds, it's the gusts, it's the winds that really cause a lot of damage. The winds are like 110 kilometers per hour, but when it gusts, I can even feel it here in Aklan. It's like even though we're on the outer bands of the typhoon, 150 kilometers per hour is the wind gust. Pretty strong winds. It's gonna be light here in a second. So I'm gonna show you how it's affecting us here. Let me just look at my screen. I'm like, my screen looks like it's flashing. I got a light here. All right, this light right here, Dazzle got me this light. So I use it when it's still dark. It's still dark. I got my Blue Yeti connected to our internet, so that way, usually with the typhoons, when we get typhoons, when it's rainy here, power outages, that's when you have to worry about power outages. For me, I have our Blue Yeti power station though. So it's really nice because we don't lose internet. I can keep track of the storm, the Windy app. Someone had mentioned to me download the Windy app, so I have down. Yeah, I'm looking at the Windy app here in my computer. So I'm trying to stay on top of the storm. I always do that when I know it's gonna cause rain here. Right now we're condition orange as far as rainfall. So they are expecting a lot of rain here in Aklan province. And we have a lot of areas in Aklan that floods. Like anywhere else in the Philippines. Iloilo, there's areas in Iloilo that floods. Capiz, Rojas, Antique, Panay Island. There are just sections here that gets flooded. That's just part of like being in a tropical island. It rains a lot here when you're like right at sea level, tendency of flooding. Even at the mountains here, you can go to Baguio City and they flood in Baguio City just because of the amount of rain that we get here. So today, the forecast, Metro Manila, Eastern Visayas, Bicol, Bataan, Bulacan, Aklan, including us, Capiz, Antique, Cebu, portions of Northern Palawan. I mean, it's like I said, it's a big area of the Philippines. Will be stormy today because of a severe tropical storm Oppon impacts. It says here, possible flash floods, landslide, or heavy rains, torrential rains. So that's why everybody here, we got the warning yesterday. We got we're always like stored up with drinking water. I got like 4 big I got like 20 gallons of drinking water. I got my Blue Yeti. So we're set. We're set for this storm. We got food. We got we're not gonna run out of food here. And people had asked me, what happens to the refrigerator? It's like they always ask me because, what if the power goes out? Over here, like our refrigerator, we try not to store a lot of things in our refrigerator. But of course, we have items in our freezer. So I do have a cooler just in case, like if the power goes out for if it's a day, I might have to put usually the freezer items, they don't start defrosting in like 12 hours. So normally that's how long the power outages during the storms are. Anything longer than that, I might have to I have a backup cooler that I put it in. But usually it's fine. Our refrigerator items, they're okay. It doesn't go bad. And then we don't keep a lot of stuff anyway in our freezer or refrigerator because we shop a lot here. That's a common dynamic here in the Philippines. Your refrigerated items, vegetables, or frozen items, you don't really stock up on that here because we go often to the public market. We go like 3 times a week. It's not like in the US where some people even have that side-by-side door refrigerator and you just stock up on everything because you don't want to make frequent trips to the grocery store, right? You're trying to avoid going to the grocery store. If you can avoid the grocery for a week, that's a blessing in the US. Here, it's not that dynamic. We're always going to the public market. The public market is like a kilometer away from our house, so I can ride on Bumblebee. Really easy, really easy. I can hear one thing nice when it's like this, when it's stormy, it's nice and cool. It's like 74 degrees Fahrenheit right now. You feel like a cool air this morning. So that's the storm. All right, let me go through the comments here, make sure I'm not getting too behind in the comments. Early morning today. Yes, early morning. I figure I'm up anyway. I'm tracking this tropical storm, this typhoon Oppon. So I got the news on the TV. I got my Windy app. So I'm trying to pay attention. I guess it's my military background. I used to work in medical readiness. Any type of weather or disaster, I like tracking it. Just make sure. Keep us safe here in Numancia, Aklan. Kevin Shores, hi Gino, hi. Hey Paris Rider, long time no see, brother, long time no see. Hey brother, what's up? Looking at some hurricanes brewing here. Same thing here. You got hurricanes in Florida here, man. We got typhoons. It's like we had Super Typhoon Nando in like the northern Luzon. That hit less than a week ago, and now right now we have Oppon, the number 15 typhoon here in the Philippines. It's the rainy season. It's like usually like this month, September now, we've had 4 typhoons that enter the PAR, the Philippine Area of Responsibility. In October, I wouldn't be surprised if we hit with another 4 typhoons. It's that time of the year here in the Philippines. Fortune, my good friend in Bacoor in Cavite. Hello, Fortune. I'm early today, man. I'm early today. Trying to stay on top of the news because of this typhoon Oppon, because it's affecting here. It's gonna affect us here in Aklan province. We are getting rain. We are getting rain for sure. It was raining last night, and again right now it's raining again. I will show you in a minute here once it's a little bit more light, because you can't see much outside, but you can definitely hear the rain. You definitely hear the rain. Oh, all right. Be safe, Fortune. I don't know if it's raining already in Metro Manila, but be safe. I know you're taking your daughter back to Bacoor, because no school for Leanna today. I think pretty much the entire Panay Island today, Aklan, Antique, Capiz, Roa City, Iloilo, City, no classes today. They already declared no classes yesterday. They made an announcement. So I'm sure Luzon is the same. Many places in Luzon don't have any classes today. Hi, sir. Hi, Ryan. Hello, Ryan. To condo, then we do breakfast. All right. Have a nice breakfast. Maybe cook some tapsilog, cook some sinangag, and my backup, because I have one electric burner, but we have a backup just in case the power goes out. We have those butane one burner, like camping stove. That's our backup, for cooking, just in case the power. But the power hasn't gone out, but usually with these storms, you can expect the electricity to go out. Have you ever been to Tarlac in Pampanga and Bulacan? Oh yes, Kevin. I've been through all those places, man, because I'm originally my province anyway. I was born and raised in Manila, born in Tondo, Manila, lived in Quezon City. But my province is Bulacan. My grandparents, I visited my grandparents' grave. They're buried in Bulacan. Back in 2022, 3 years ago, I took Dazzle, met with all my cousins, all my relatives in Bulacan. Great time for Dazzle and I. We drove. We took our car in the ferry, made it to Luzon, and then we drove to Bulacan, then drove to Pampanga, to Angeles. I used to be in the military, United States Air Force. I was stationed at Clark in the late 80s until Mount Pinatubo in 1991. So I lived in Angeles City in Pampanga. Know the area really well, the Pampanga area. In Tarlac, I visited another set of my relatives, my Kuya Larry, my cousin Larry. He lives in Tarlac, and in 2022 was the last time I was there. I stayed at his house for a couple of days in Tarlac. Pangasinan, I don't have relatives. I don't have relatives in Pangasinan, but I've been to Pangasinan many times. Again, back when I was stationed at Clark, we used to drive to Pangasinan, 100 Islands. I've been to 100 Islands, La Union area, San Fernando, La Union, Baguio. I'm familiar with that area. And Dazzle got to see Pangasinan too, because we drove. And when we drove, we were stopping at different towns. We would stay overnight on some towns. And she got to see that. Pangasinan, I always liked their tupig. That tupig, that coconut wrapped in banana leaf, and they cook it on the grill. I don't miss that. Every time we go to Pangasinan, La Union, Ilocos, that area, I'm always having myself tupig, because one of my favorite treats here in the Philippines. Ryan, Pocket money payback, life prime minister. Okay, I don't quite understand what you mean there, Brian. But thank you for the comment. Thank you for the comment. I'm not trans sports. I know you. There's always people. You know, you're fine. You know, you can post. You can post, and I'm not gonna block you. You can do what you want. I'm in condo parking now, waiting for Maggie. All right, stay safe. Stay safe, Fortune. Ryan, ref cooler. We don't. I don't drink alcohol. Rarely do I drink. I don't keep San Miguel. We don't drink soda, so we don't have soda. I'm a cancer recovery patient, so I'm really particular of what I drink and put in my body. Food, no hot dogs, nothing processed food. I'm actually probably close to becoming more vegetarian and eat just fruit and vegetables. And I'm older now. I'll be 60 years old next year. And what I'm finding out as you get older, you have to really take care of what you put on your body. You know, even tea like this. I'm switching back to green tea. Everything you put on your body just affects your body. You know, so leaning towards like just maybe just eating vegetables and fruit now. Look, 1990s. Oh, nothing wrong with the 90s, man. I love the 90s, man. You're not funny. I mean, I don't think you're funny. I don't think you're the LOL sports. You're not getting many laughs, but I won't block you. Oh, and same thing with Goku. I'm not poor. I've been retired since I was 45 years old. I haven't been working for 14 years. I have a healthy military pension from the United States Air Force, so I'm not poor. And if I live a comfortable life, so no worries. You guys can pose. You guys, can you please tell me how James is spelling his name? Bundak. Oh, bundok. The Tagalog word for mountain. I know I've heard of boondock be that term in the U.S. A lot of like van lifers, campers, boondock. It's pronounced boondock in the U.S. But here in the Philippines, there's a word. The word for mountain here is bundok. Bondok. Bundok. That's how it's pronounced here. So it's the same, it's like, tomato. It's like, pronunciation is not that important, as long as you understand it, you understand what the person is meaning. People get caught up with that pronunciation, especially here in the Philippines, actually. Filipinos are particular with pronunciation and accents and all that, but man, when you're in the U.S., if you go to the U.S., people from all over the U.S. got different accents. I lived in Texas, y'all, like you all, it's like y'all. My friend from Boston, they talk like that. U.S. is like a mixture of accents. It doesn't matter as long as you can understand people. Like me, I don't have a problem understanding people. Same thing here in the Philippines. A lot of the Visayan people here has a Visayan accent. A lot of people in Luzon kind of make fun of the Visayan accent, but it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Walfrey, hi, hello. Hey, the Panay Posse. All right, Daniel, my good friend in Jacksonville, Florida. Hey, Daniel, I'm getting some of your weather, some of that Florida weather here, man. A stormy weather today here in Aklan province. Good day, Daniel. Good day. Ryan, coffee. No subtract. All right. Tomorrow is you work. I do not work. I have not worked in 14 years. I'm retired United States military. I live on my pension. I've been living on my military pension here in the Philippines for the last 14 years. All right, see, Fortune got up early. Fortune got up at 3 a.m. I got up about 4 and I start watching the news because I slept early though. I was asleep by 7, I think, last night, but I was eager to see. Usually, the storms here, what worries me is at nighttime because you never know what's going on at night and you can't see. But now it looks like we're okay. It looks like this storm, it might get stronger here, we might get stronger rain, but I never have to worry about flood. It doesn't flood in our community. There's areas in Calibo, areas in Numancia that flood, but our area here, our subdivision, our gated community, I've been living here 9 years, it's never flooded here. Gino, did you get your worm? I'm an early bird. Always an early bird, man. You know me, man. I'm always. It's just that sometimes I do the live stream at 7:30 after I drop off Leanna. But I'm always an early bird, man. I'm always up at 4:30, 5 a.m. That's just me, man. Since I retired, pretty much all my life, actually, I've always been like that. I always up early. I have all my energy during the morning, and then towards like sunset, I'm kind of like sunset. I'm coming down. I'm ready to like rest. Sports, you're funny, Sports. You got some funny comments. A safe house. That is funny. Have you ever tried buto bumbong before? I tried it. Was Oh, puto bumbong. It depends. I love puto bumbong, Kevin. My favorite is the one in Baguio City. If you ever go to Baguio City, eat that. There's a Buran Park. There's almost like cafe restaurant, and they have a puto bumbong set up there. They're the legit puto bumbong because to me, there's two kinds of puto bumbong. One, they use the sticky rice that it's too chewy for me. I like the old school puto bongbong where they're like when they cook it, they steam it, and when it comes out, it's like tender. You know, no chewiness at all. They put that margarine on it. They put that coconut, shredded coconut in it. I mean, that thing's delicious. But the one in Baguio City is the one up. I've not found that here in Aklan, unfortunately. The version of puto bongbong they serve here, kind of chewy, you know. I'm not a fan. But I do love the one. If I ever, I've been to Baguio. I've taken Dazzle to Baguio City twice now. So maybe someday when we go back. Those are one of the must eat for me in Baguio when I go to Baguio. Kuya. Yes, perfect, Nikki. You got the correct spelling. Kuya. Kuya. All right, I'm going to show you, I'm caught up to the comments here. I'm going to show you real quick the stormy weather that we're having here because it's kind of light outside now. You can kind of see it now. It's not so dark anymore. Maybe you can see. It's raining. It is raining out here. I have a little area here where I won't get wet. But you can tell when it's stormy here because normally it is not this windy. But as you can see, windy morning here. Lots of rain. We're getting lots of rain here in Aklan province. I hear a door banging. Maybe some door got slammed because of the wind. But stormy weather here today in Numancia, Aklan. Western Visayas is our location. I'm gonna go back in. The rain is getting stronger. I don't want to get wet. And that's gonna be my topic today. I usually talk about a topic every time I do a live stream because sometimes I don't know how many comments I get. So what I try to do is I come up with a topic beforehand. I have a topic that in my mind that I want to discuss. And the topic I was going to discuss today is location. How location is very important. I've talked before like different topics as far as like what I feel like most important here. I've said before, to me, finding the right Filipina, that is like biggest decision in my mind. If you come here to the Philippines, meeting the right Filipina, that will make or break you in your retirement here in the Philippines. But another thing that it should be like on the top of the list is location. Location is key here in the Philippines. It's important because like this, I'm give you an example, like this storm right here. Leyte and Samar, a lot of storms go through that area. But it doesn't mean that you can't live in Leyte or Samar. You just gotta find the right location. Um, with the typhoons, I was watching the news. I'm keeping up on Windy Track. There are storm surges that goes with typhoons. Same thing in Florida. They got storm surges, right? And I know a lot of expats, a lot of foreigners, they love to live on the beach. I can't blame him. You know, if I could afford living on the beach, I would give me a beachfront property too. But the thing that you got to consider when you're living right on the beach, you got to be worried about storm surges. And right now, like even here in Aklan province, the whole northern side of Aklan province is coastal. And right now, there's like a storm surge warning from New Washington, Calibo, Numancia, Makato, Tangalan, Ibahay, Nabas, all the way to Buruanga. That's almost like half of Aklan province. There's a storm surge warning. So, you know, something to consider, you know, if you're buying property, like for us, for Dazzle and I, when we bought property in Katiklan, we plan on building there someday. When I get my Social Security, I'll have more money to build a house there. We bought it. We're 5 minutes walk to the beach, but we're up on a hill. I mean, it's gonna take a catastrophic storm surge to reach the hill there. I'm saying we're at least 50 to 60 feet high on a hill. So not going to be worried about storm surge as far as like the land that we bought in Katiklan. Same thing with tsunami. You know, tsunami happens here in the Philippines because we're in the ring of fire in the Pacific. Earthquakes in Japan, earthquakes in the Philippines, and a lot of earthquakes cause tsunami. So that's another thing to consider. You know, it's like when you're looking for a place to live in the Philippines, you gotta check those places. You know, like are you prone to like flooding? Are you prone to a storm surge, earthquakes? There's areas in the Philippines that get hit. You know, if it's in a fault line, you know, you can pretty much. I know there's apps now, or you can research online where is there a fault line in your island? Is it a big threat as far as earthquake? You know, things like that. You know, that's why I say location, location, location. Very important. That's why I always tell people when they plan to move to the Philippines, rent first. You know, I know Americans, you know, I lived in America for over 30 years. We're kind of like, you know, it's so important to Americans because I was at that same mindset where you want to own your own land, you want to own your own house, you know. That's a big accomplishment, and it is. It's a blessing if you can own your own house. But for me, I've always tell people when they come to the Philippines, rent first, especially in the area where you plan on buying land or even building a home. I would just rent first for a year. That way, you know all the things that, you know, you can experience that area for a year, and is that the area where you really want to retire or settle down. Lowell, hey Lowell, my good friend, kumusta? Kumusta, Lowell from Oregon? Me too, man. I know Dazzle and Leanna. I know they're gonna be sleeping. I know they're gonna be sleeping well today, and probably me after this live stream. Probably no gym today. Do not want to go to Calibo because I don't know. You know, might be flooded in areas in Calibo. I haven't seen anybody posting as far as any flooding in Calibo, but I'm not gonna take a chance. Today, stormy weather like this, it's kind of like a stay-in kind of day. So I'm gonna sleep, rest, watch some Netflix, have me maybe another cup of green tea, but just a relaxing day in the house. God bless my brother. God bless my brother. I've been to Baguio City back in 2015. Oh yes, I love. That's close. Oh, I got a message from my good friend Tim. it pops on my screen here from Las Vegas. I always get messages from people all day long, all night long, like from my messenger, my WhatsApp, my email. And I love like communicating with our viewers, subscriber, friends. It's like that's one thing about social media. You can say negative things about it, but it's easier to keep track of people that you want to keep track. Friends and family that I have in the United States. Really nice. Oh, I love Baguio City. Actually, Baguio City was gonna be like. Boracay was my landing spot here. I spent my first 18 months in Boracay. But Baguio City was my number 2. If Boracay hadn't worked out, I would have gone to Baguio City because I wanted that cooler temperature. You're up in the mountains. You don't need to use air conditioning as much. When Dazzle and I stayed there, actually, our Airbnb that we stayed didn't have AC because you didn't need it. You can just open the window and you got cool air coming in the house. And then I just love like the mountain views in Baguio City. And then I'm a coffee lover. And Baguio Benguet Coffee, they have their own coffee beans. Lots of nice cafes. I went to filmed a couple of cafes in Baguio where you just sit in a cafe and you're like looking at the scenery, the mountain scenery, hot cup of coffee and like cooler temperatures. Just like, to me, that was like I said, that was gonna be my second choice, but I just fell in love with Boracay. I fell in love with Aklan Province. But I visited twice. I've visited Baguio City twice, so probably in the future we'll visit again. Americans built Baguio for our... Yes, I've been to Camp John Hay. Camp John Hay was the recreational base that we had in Baguio City. Now it's like owned by the Filipinos now. It's a golf course still. We went there, actually, I did a couple of videos at Camp John Hay. There's a big hotel there now, really nice hotel. You can still see the remnants of the base, but it's not the same, of course. I went there during the late 80s when it was run by Americans still, when it was a recreational base for the United States military. Last time in Baguio 2023, many new spots and food scene is amazing. Yeah, we were there last time for Dazzle and I. Fortune was 2022. We drove. I drove our tiny little Wigo, man. We drove that because I drove from Batangas. We made it up all the way up to Baguio City. We made it up to Pagudpod, on that little tiny car that we have. It was fun for me. I love road trips. I love long drives. It doesn't bother me at all. I think one leg of the drive from Baguio, we left Baguio and drove to Vegan, where the old like Spanish style cobblestone thing. I mean, it took me like 8 hours to drive it because we were stopping. Every single thing we see, ooh, look at that, we'll stop. We take pictures, but I do not mind driving 8 hours at all in one day because for me, road trips are fun. I enjoy road trips. But like you said, the food scene is amazing. The topic today, I started already, Belus, is the importance of location. Location. And I even made you an example, Belus, because I know you live in Leyte, and I know Leyte gets hit a lot of storms, a lot of typhoons passes through eastern Visayas, but you don't have a problem because you selected an area that's like elevated. You're like I think I saw one of your posts. You're like way above sea level, so you don't have to worry about storm surges, tsunami, flooding. You really, it's hard for flooding because it floods here anywhere. You could be up in the mountains here. I just saw that picture in Baguio City where the strawberry fields in Baguio City, it's underwater, but at least you're not worried about getting flooded where the water stays for a long time. But location is important just because, not just for that, it's like we are all different. We're not, like, I know people that come here. There's some people that come here, they want that Western style of living. I've helped many people move to Iloilo City because when they come here, they ask me what would I recommend a city, and I've always recommended Iloilo City. I think it's the best city in the Philippines. Bicycle friendly, walkable, nice sidewalks. You don't have businesses and you don't have tricycles parked on the sidewalk. Modern looking. I mean, there's old side to Iloilo City, but there's a modern side of Iloilo City. I know somebody had mentioned to me, "Oh, you're just showing the good side of Iloilo City or the modern side." Well, I am because that's where people move, right? You're not gonna go to like if you move to a city, you're not gonna move to like the bad part of the city, right? You're gonna move to like the more modern, the luxurious, the SNR, the Landers, the Mega World, the Festive Walk Mall. That's the area where most Westerners that I know would move in. They're not, that's like me saying if I move to Los Angeles and I'm on the beach area, of course I want to live in Huntington Beach, of course Long Beach. I want to live in those areas, might not want to live in East LA, it's like, you got gang violence. Same thing with any city in the Philippines. In Metro Manila, I mean, Metro Manila, for most part, you got heavy congestion, heavy traffic, areas where you really do not want to live, but there's BGC. There's BGC in Manila where, yeah, when you're walking in BGC, you feel like you're in America. It's so modern. Everything's so clean. Everything's like you got all the restaurants that you're used to. You got Texas Roadhouse, TGIF, Outback Steakhouse. They're there at BGC. So that's why we're all different. We're all different. We're all looking for different things, but that's why location is so important. A lot of times, I think a lot of people that move here, the ones that fail, a lot of times they move to where they meet a Filipina online and they move to where the Filipina lives. It makes sense because you connected with the Filipina, you want to move there. But a lot of times they don't know. They're relying on the Filipina to on the area. They didn't do the research. They didn't do the research on the area. And they end up going to some remote province here where there's no hospital support. Because they figure, well, I have a Filipina girlfriend. She's going to take care of everything. But you got to do your research. You got to especially if you have medical conditions. If you have hypertension, high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, you got all these issues. You do not want to go to a remote province in the Philippines. You want to be near a city, at least an hour, 2-3 hours away from a city. That way you can get the medical care that you require. Many places here in the provinces, I will tell you, don't have an MRI machine. That should tell you right there that if you got a lot of medical condition and you're in an area where there's no MRI machine, you might want to find, somewhere closer to where an MRI machine is or a more updated hospital. All right, Fortune. That's the, and then as far as another thing with location, and then, the cost, the cost for your location. If you do select a city, if you do select BGC, if you do select Iloilo City, Cebu City, it's gonna cost you more to live in those areas. The budgets that might work, like here in Aklan Province, the budget here, if you got $1,000 here, $1,500, you can make it happen here. You can have a good life here in Aklan Province for that, because usually the rent is about $200 and you would get a good apartment, like a 1-bedroom studio apartment. If you want bigger, of course, the price, if you want furnished, it's gonna go up some, but you can get a good housing situation here, renting at a low cost in the province. But when you go to the cities, if you go to BGC, if you go to Iloilo or Cebu City, you're talking close to 25,000 pesos, about 400, $500 to start, just to start in those areas. So, you got to weigh, of course, you got to weigh in, how much retirement you're getting, every month. How much is your income every month to where you're going to end up staying here in the Philippines. Lots to consider, lots to consider. But I think a lot of, like I said, a lot of foreigners make the mistake. To me, the more successful ones that I've seen here in the Philippines move here to the Philippines first and then find their Filipina. Go to the place where they enjoy, where they like. Like for me, when I went to Boracay Island, first 18 months in Boracay Island, when I lived in Boracay Island, I was in paradise. I was like, man, I am living the dream. I actually felt that when I landed in Boracay Island. After a few months of living in Boracay Island, I was like saying, man, this is the dream. I no longer have to work. I can watch the sunsets and sunrises in Boracay. I can run on White Beach every day. I can swim in the ocean every day, turquoise waters. To me, it was like I was living in paradise when I lived in Boracay those 18 months. Life takes us in a different direction. I decided to move to mainland because it's more affordable in the mainland. Boracay for me was fun the 18 months, but I wasn't saving as much money as I wanted. That's why I decided to move to mainland Aklan because it's cheaper. If you live in Boracay compared here to mainland Aklan, Boracay is part of Aklan, so it's not that like I left Aklan. I'm still in Aklan province. Malay is where Boracay sits. It's a town here in Aklan province. But everything in Boracay, they call it Magastos Island because it is. It's like Magastos means like kind of expensive, kind of you spend a lot of money in the area, and you do. When you live in Boracay, it's not hard. It's easy to spend money because your housing's gonna be more than mainland Aklan. Everything from fruits, vegetables, because everything has to be shipped there, at least 20 to 25% more. In Boracay Island. And then you're tempted to eat, in Boracay Island, they have all the Western restaurants. You got Indian food, authentic Indian food, Greek food, Thai food, Vietnamese food, you name it. All the international foods are in Boracay. And if you're living there, it's, you're going to be tempted. You're like, oh, I miss eating a tamale. I miss eating like a taco, and go to a Mexican restaurant, it's a lot cheaper living in mainland Aklan because we don't have that. Here in Calibo, we don't have a Thai restaurant. We had one before. We had the Thai restaurant before, but we don't have that anymore. We have one Chinese restaurant that I know, Italian food. I don't think we have any Italian food. I don't find, they'll have spaghetti, the Filipino version of spaghetti, but there's not many restaurants here in Calibo. That's why, you gotta have to kind of balance, between, access to those kind of things in Boracay Island or in Calibo. We don't have access, but, lower cost of living here. Easy to save money, If you have $1,500 as your pension, you can retire in Calibo. I'm confident in saying that, and you would live good. You live comfortable. You live in a furnished, air-conditioned, good Wi-Fi apartment in Calibo. Walk around. You don't have to worry about owning a car, owning a motorbike. You don't even have to worry about. I lived in Calibo. I lived here in Aklan province for 3 years before I bought a car. I rode my bicycle everywhere. I had a mountain bike. That's the only transportation I had. Because there's good public transportation in Calibo, in Aklan province. Not a problem to go in Panay Island, period. It's not a problem to go anywhere here using public transportation. Always be thankful to you for exposing me to the Panay area. All right, Daniel. I looked at dozens and dozens of locations and considered many factors. Panay offers the most. I think so. I think so, Daniel. That's why I've said it before. To me, Panay Island, Aklan Province, this is a gem in the Philippines. This is still a secret to a lot of people. My friend in Hawaii never heard of Boracay before I introduced him to Boracay. Now he's like in Boracay every other year, almost every year he's visiting Boracay. And he lives in Hawaii. You know, he lives in Waikiki. He has a house in Mililani and he's always coming to Boracay because he likes the vibe. He likes the locals. He likes the whole island vibe here in Panay Island. And from all my travels, Panay Island, as far as cost, if you're worried about cost of living, you can't find a better. It's hard to find compare a cost of living. I've traveled through Luzon, through Cebu, to Negros Island. The only place I didn't go is like Mindanao. You know, I don't think I'll ever hit Mindanao. You know, I'll leave that. You know, that's one of the things I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable about visiting Mindanao. But for most of the areas that I've seen, cost of living wise, if you're looking for budget friendly, Panay Island will offer you that. Hello, Kuya. Salamat. Mayor Bird. All right, Mayor Bird. Fortune. Nice, Daniel. Panay has the best people. See, Fortune, he knows, and they are kind here. Very soft-spoken people, Panay Island people, kind people. They're not, you get some, of course, anywhere you go, you're going to have like materialism and all that. But for the most part, the people that you'll meet here in Panay, you're going to see it. Very humble, provincial people. A lot of the people here in Panay Island are farmers and fishermen. And what comes along with those type of people, they're just humble. They're like down to earth, they don't own like big SUVs or mansions, they're swimming pools in their house. They don't own that. They live in a tiny home, very respectful people. That's what I've seen here, my 14 years here living in Panay Island. Yeah, soft-spoken, loving. Hello, hey, there's Edgar. Good morning. We're getting rain, Edgar. We're getting rain. You're gonna feel the first storm in Calibo. This is stormy weather today. So me, I got my green tea. Edgar. Gonna be just stay home kind of weather. Nap kind of weather today. Good day, Edgar. Early riser also. All right. When you live in an area with more costly rentals, you're likely to pay more for food. Try everything, right? Right, Daniel? It's like, you got it, Daniel. Here one thing I noticed here in Calibo, in Aklan Province, they cannot make the prices high here, because the locals won't be able to afford it. That's why you can get low prices on fruits, vegetables, seafood, because our like what is that, minimum wage, like Fortune can tell you this. In Manila, where Fortune, he goes to work in Manila, Metro Manila, their minimum wage in Manila compared to here in the province of Aklan, it's usually half. It's like if the minimum wage in Manila is like 800 pesos a day, here in the province is 400 pesos a day. And then, unfortunately, a lot of people here in the province, you'll find this out, Daniel, the minimum wage is 400. Let's say the minimum wage is 400 a day, right, for the province. There's people making less than the minimum wage. It is not enforced. Like, how in the U.S., if you say minimum wage, I better be getting that money or I'll report you. Here in the province, you got minimum wage and people making even less than minimum wage because they don't have a choice. If they didn't go to college, they didn't graduate high school, they're a day laborer. They get what they get, right? They're not gonna be picky on the job that they're gonna get. It's like if you work construction, if you work as a gardener, day laborer, it's like you can't pick your price. You can't like be demanding of the salary. So that's why they can't make things here in our province expensive because people won't be able to afford it. And a lot of businesses like in Calibo, you can't even open, like, we don't have a SM mall, we don't have a Robinsons mall. And the reason why they don't open those big malls here, they will struggle to make money. You know, even the malls here, I noticed, like City Mall, the businesses struggle. They struggle. Even like the kiosks for food, or it's hard to make money here. It's hard to make if you're in business here because people are like tight. They're tight with their money here in the province. They don't splurge. Like if you live in VGC, if you live in Iloilo City, you'll see people eat at Vikings. You know, Vikings in Iloilo City is a all-you-can-eat buffet, like Vegas-style buffet for about $20, over 1,000 pesos. You cannot open anything like that here in Calibo. It will go out of business so fast because people are not gonna spend 1,000 pesos here for a meal for one person. You know, very few people here would be willing to pay that here in Calibo. That's why the most we'll get here in Calibo, we have two McDonald's, you know, and even that, you know, McDonald's is a luxury for people here in our province. It's a big thing when you eat at McDonald's here. You'll see the students, they love, like the college students, they love eating at McDonald's because they're posting photos on their Facebook. They're taking pictures of French fries. A thing here in the Philippines, the kids, I see them, you know, the first time I look at it, I was like, I thought it was kind of weird, but you know, now it's normal now. It's they like to order the sundae, like the chocolate sundae and caramel. They'll order that, right? It's about, I think, 50 pesos, about less, about $1, and they'll order French fries. And they'll dip the French fries in the sundae. I have never seen that before, you know. But here you'll see that when you go to McDonald's. Don't be surprised if you see kids here eating French fries and dipping it in like a chocolate sundae or a caramel sundae. Belu's only reason in Leyte is family. We own condo in Cebu to escape to once a quarter. We also load up on imports. Then back to the jungle. Back to the jungle. Hey man, you know, it's like I can understand, you know, you got family, your family in Leyte. But like I was saying, for a lot of people that I've seen, you know, it worked out for you, Belus, you know, because you're a good guy. I can tell you're a good guy. But a lot of times what I see, the dynamic that happens is a foreigner meets a Filipina, you know, ends up moving to where province, jungle, where the Filipina lives. And they're going like, what the heck did I get myself into? You know, because a foreigner, especially if you're from Los Angeles, from your New York, big city in the US, all of a sudden you're living some remote place in Mindanao. That's quite a change. Even here in Panay Island, if you live in Antique province, up in the mountains in Antique province, that is quite a change, you know. It might work in the beginning because, you know, you got your Filipina, you know, but, you know, after a while, the foreigner starts looking for things. Like, and that happened to a person that I know, lived in Antique, up in the mountains. And after about a year, he's going crazy because it's like nobody to talk to for one, you know, because up in the mountains here in Antique, not other expats or even the Filipinos, they really don't speak English well. So he kind of got isolated. So he decided to move here to the Calibo area. But you would avoid all that if you retire first and then find your Filipina. But I know it doesn't happen for everybody like that. I know a lot of people meet their Filipina first. But for me, I think that's the better dynamic. You have a higher chance of success. If you come to the Philippines first, select the place that you want. That your needs, your wants, right? If your needs and want is BGC, if it's Baguio City, if it's Boracay Island, you're gonna be happy the minute you land there. I remember that feeling 14 years ago when I landed in Boracay Island. I thought I died and went to paradise, man. I was like waking up every morning, running on White Beach, swimming. I would be riding my mountain bike everywhere in Boracay. It was like Man, and then I didn't have to cook as many meals. They had plenty of carinderia for like a dollar 50. I can eat like rice, vegetable, a meat product, and I didn't even have to cook. And then on the times that I would cook, I would make good meals at home because I wouldn't like store. I had a little refrigerator, like those dormitory refrigerator, so I couldn't store food. So if I wanted to cook, I would go to the local market with where the locals shop, buy cabbage, buy ground beef or whatever I needed, and cook it that day and eat it. And I usually, what's cool too is like when you shop for yourself, like one person, you don't have to buy big amounts here. You can order like a 1/4 kilo, right? You can buy like one piece of leg quarter, or you don't have to buy the whole chicken, because if I have buy the whole chicken and I cook it at home, that's a lot of chicken I'll be eating for the next few days. Here in the Philippines, I like that dynamic. If you're single, you can buy just to cook. I mean, you can practically buy one tomato, one onion, a clove of garlic, and then whatever meat that you're gonna cook, and then cook it and you're done, right? You might have a little bit of leftover, but you make two meals out of one. You don't have to like cook a big pot and all of a sudden, dang, I gotta eat this thing again, because you're living by yourself. Hi, bro. Sorry, it has been a bit. Hey, Rev Fred. All right, good to see you back. Good to see you back, Rev Fred. Not a problem, man. We all get busy. Like HD was saying yesterday, HD was on the live stream. He's been busy. We all get busy. It's like, I guess me, I just have the time. It's like every day, my morning, I usually have a lot of energy during the morning. I can do these live streams in the morning. If you notice, I don't do as many videos. It's like every other day now on the videos. And I'm trying to like make the videos easy for me to do because, I'll just film, just show you guys, I like the live streams better. The live streams work for me better. It's easier for me to do. No editing. I do not have to edit the live streams. So that's why I prefer doing the live streams. And then you can ask me on the spot. It's like, you my honest opinion. You can see my reaction if whatever you ask me. With the video, I can edit. It just takes long. I like the banter here, the interaction with people. Leyte is very Wild West. I've never been to Leyte, but I believe you. I believe you, Belus, because you're the Wild West kind of guy. I know you're like the Wyoming, the Wild West of Leyte. That's kind of your vibe, man. I know you like living out, what is that? Off-grid, living off-grid. In God's country, having like beautiful scenery. I know that's I don't, I did see you say you have a condo in Cebu City, but I'm sure you prefer like being out in the wilderness, out in the wild west instead of Cebu City. Leave attitude at home country. You will only be a guest. Yes, yeah. A lot of times people get in trouble with that here, Belus. You've seen it. You've been here. You know how some foreigners act. When they're here. I think some foreigners. They're used to entitlement. They think because they have money that they're above the people here. But usually that that will get you in trouble here. Because it's like. Not just because you have money doesn't mean you're above the people here. Money is not the basis for like your status in life. You can have all the money that you have, but if you're not a nice person, people are not gonna like you. Sounds like I have to visit Boracay. Hey, all right, Trav. You will not be disappointed. I know people that say Boracay is touristy, and it is magastos. That's what the locals call it. I didn't come up with that name. The locals call it Magastos Island. It's expensive island, but it's still one of the best beaches in the world. White Beach, Boracay. You can say everything you want about Boracay Island, but when you're on White Beach, Boracay, about 5 kilometers of nothing but white sand, turquoise water during the summer now. Not right now. Not right now during the storm. Right now, it's like high waves in Boracay. Not a fun place if you're vacationing around Boracay. But during the summer months, from like January to June, if you go to Boracay Island, man, to me, it's just beautiful. It's like, and you don't have to, if you want to stay in Boracay long term, it's not expensive in Boracay. Like, it's expensive when you're staying there like 3-4 days, staying at the Henan Hotel or Mandarin 5-star hotel. Yes, you're gonna spend, man, you're gonna spend 8,000 a day on just hotel and food. 10,000 a day, easy like that. You'll spend that in Boracay. But if you stay there a month, and let's say you rent an Airbnb, you can get an Airbnb in Boracay for $500. You can get, and it'll be a nice Airbnb, Wi-Fi, air conditioned, not a big Airbnb. A lot of times 1 bedroom or studio. But if you really want to experience Boracay, stay there for a month. It's not just white beach in Boracay. You got like Puka Beach, you got Iligan Beach, you got Bulabog Beach, Tambisaan Beach, Cagban Beach. So many beaches. Boracay it looks small, but it's pretty good size. You would have fun. I mean, said it many times on the live stream here. Boracay is my happy place on earth. When I'm in Boracay, I'm just happy. That's why I know eventually we're gonna try out Boracay New Coast. Boracay New Coast is a development by Mega World in Boracay Island, where condominiums. You can rent condominiums there at New Coast. They start at like 35,000, 40,000 pesos a month, condos. But you can negotiate. Everything's negotiable in Boracay. But we'll eventually end up there once I get my Social Security. I'm about less than 3 years now away from my Social Security. And once my Social Security with my military pension, we can afford places like Boracay New Coast. Howdy, Edgar. All right, Daniel said, Edgar, I got out, was looking at Main Street and side streets. Calibo has not disappointed at all. It's amazing to be in a town in a tropical jungle as well. I know, right? Because it's green. That's the thing. Here in our neighborhood, when you go out town, Calibo, green. There's just trees. There's just greenery. It's not. I came from the desert. Before I moved here, I lived like 7 years in Tucson, Arizona. So to me, when I see like greenery, it's just so much better than looking at dirt. How do you spell Calibo? Calibo is spelled K-A-L-I-B-O. Calibo. Instead of the C, it's a K. Did I get almost? You got it almost right, man. It's just a C. Instead of a C, you put a K. I think Leyte is 300 province wage. Yeah, believe it. I think that's about the same here. I know now the construction workers here in our province of Aklan, they're asking more now than 300 Belus, because there's a demand. There's a lack of manpower. Before it would be easy for me to find couple of 2-3 people, laborers. If I wanted something cemented, I want something built, I can find people for 300 pesos before. I can't find that now, because now probably double that, 500 to 600 pesos now, because there's just a lack of people, actual people, because Boracay sucks up all the construction people. They pay good in Boracay Island. All the construction people in Aklan province, they go to Boracay Island because so much development going on in Boracay Island. Hotels being built, condominiums being built in Boracay Island. So now, it's hard. It's hard to find laborers now here in our town. Even here in Numancia, I would have to pay extra now, like no longer 300 pesos, at least 500 pesos, which is still $9 a day, for a day laborer. We pay our full-time better with bonuses and also crop share. I know you would. I know you would, Belush. You're a good guy, man. You're a good guy. I would be the same, you know. I always tip here. I know people don't tip. I always like treat people well here. You know, it's like to me, it's like it's not a big deal. You know, it's like I know some people they're kind of stingy with that, but I'm not because I know how hard life is here for people. Yeah, see, that's why you have a good life. That's why you have a good life here in the Philippines, Belus. You know how to treat people well. And I'm the same way. You know, it's like I always kind of picture myself when the way I treat people is the way I want it to be treated. That's why when the Panay Posse, when I sponsor people here to Calibo, to Boracay, I pick people up at the airport because to me, that's how I would want to be treated, right? If I had a friend in Hawaii, when I show up at Honolulu airport, I'm expecting that friend of mine to pick me up. You know, to me, he's not a friend if he tells me take a cab. You know, what kind of friend is that? You know, that's just me. That's just me now. You know, so I'm the same way. You know, that's how I want to be treated. You know, if you come here, you're one of the Panay Posse members coming here to Panay Island. I'm picking you up at the airport. I'm not gonna tell you get a cab. You know, that's a horrible way to like welcome somebody to Panay Island. Nice to know. I will finally be a millionaire in peso. Yeah, yeah, you'll be a millionaire. Daniel, my house is like when I bought this in 2015, 10 years ago, my house was 1.5 million pesos. So I'm a millionaire in pesos, in pesos. Peanut butter travels. I'm here. All right, peanut butter travels. It stopped raining outside. Not even windy anymore. So it kind of goes on spurts, downpour, like torrential rain, then it'll stop. Let me look up my windy app. It hasn't changed much. It still looks like it's over Masbate Island now. Over Masbate Island is where Michael White and the thriving Philippine expat, the Typhoon Oppon is right on Masbate Island. Edgar, you will be Mr. Moneybags here. Mr. Moneybags. Daniel's gonna be Mr. Moneybags. Edgar, that's yearly income. I am way too frugal to be Moneybags. Yep, I'm the same. You know, I'll never be Moneybags here. You know, it's like I'm too frugal. You know, I like, as you can see, I'm not extravagant with our house. You know, it's like nothing we own here is like expensive, or if we lose it, it's not like a big thing to me. If you have monthly income of 1,500, that's $18,000 yearly. Yeah, that's a million. That's a million, right? That's what I'm saying, Daniel. For a million pesos a year, if you have a million pesos a year, if you talk to any Filipino here, they will say they are blessed. They're like, they're gonna be happy, you know, more than happy with that. You know, you're like, you know, middle class Filipino. You're not poor if you have a million pesos a year here of income. Love from the Republika Moldova. I'll have to look at the map, man. I've heard Moldova before, but I have to look where that is located. My world geography, I need more refreshing. Right? I used to collect stamps, and my friend actually gave me some stamps, so I'm back to like, I like stamps because when I look at the stamp, the country, I start researching online where the country is, and I find it interesting. I used to have a nice stamp collection when I was a kid, so my friend got me started again in collecting stamps. I just like it. Very peaceful for me, looking at stamps, researching where the stamp, the origin of the stamp, the age of the stamp. Ooh, it got windy now. It got windy now. Let me go outside again. Let me show you guys. The wind, it's not rainy, but the wind has definitely picked up here. The wind has definitely picked up. Definitely feel like a storm. Still raining, still raining. But now it is windy. Windy here. Of course, quiet. I don't see the boss rooster. The boss rooster made it to this vacant lot here the other day. So I'm sure the boss rooster is like hiding out at his house today with all the rain that we're getting here. No sunrise, of course, no sun today. Just gonna be a rainy, stormy day here in Numancia, Aklan. Stay home kind of weather. Stay home kind of weather. We got enough food in the house. We'll probably cook. I'll make something up for lunch. I might make a breakfast burrito. I have tortillas, and I can make like an egg, potatoes. I got some salsa. I bought some cheddar cheese. I got some cheddar shredded ones from the grocery. So I'll make me a breakfast burrito here after the live stream. But getting really windy, stormy weather we got here in Numancia, Aklan. Just gonna stay home for sure today. Good sleeping weather. Good sleeping weather here. Alright, let me see where the Moldova. Oh, Jimbo, Chief, my good friend Chief in Batangas. Be safe, brother. Wind and rain picking up here in Batangas. Yeah. Chief lives in Lipa City in Batangas. I call him Chief because he's a retired Chief Master Sergeant in the United States Air Force. That's the highest enlisted rank we have in the United States Air Force. JP, hello Gino and Pasi. I hit like on that. All right. Thank you for the like there, JP. The loose. I always say, in US we work for the money, the payment, etc. In the Philippines, bottom line, work for life. Next meal, school uniforms, work just to survive. Way different. No pool at my place. No pool at my place. Dazzle actually, Belus, when we built our home, like in our land that we bought in Katiklan, she plans on putting a pool, but not a big pool. Maybe just enough to like dip in kind of like a dip in pool. Maybe 8 feet long. It's like not she just wants that for her nephews. For the nephews when they visit, that would be kind of cool. And then for the hot summer months here. The boss rooster is probably hiding from Sheriff Dazzle's posse. That's funny. Actually, I've gotten a logo that I saved. Someone had sent me. I forgot who sent it, but I saved it on my phone. I wanted to get a T-shirt made of the boss rooster and the sheriff badge for Dazzle. I wanted to get a shirt made like that. For anyone wondering, it is very quiet here at La Casa. All right, Edgar. I'm glad. No roosters. I know no roosters at La Casa Española. I have not heard one rooster at all. Yeah, see, no traffic. You don't hear the noise from the street at Laola's because it's a good big complex. It's a big, nice complex. And even that little road, the side road coming out of La Casa Española, it's not the main road. It's like mostly like tricycles. Not many pass through it. And it's right beside the La Casa Española. In front of it, when you come out of La Casa Española, it's Aklan State University. So a college right in front of it. So when there's a college here in Calibo or in the Philippines, anywhere you go, if there's a college, there's a lot of eateries, a lot of karinderya, 7-Eleven, because of the college. It's like, so what I like about La Casa Española and Edgar, I'm sure he's going to enjoy it because there's a lot of food that you can just get takeout and you don't have to cook. It's like, because where the students eat, where the students eat, very affordable because it's students. They can't afford expensive restaurant food. Most student, like the student meal here, it's called student meal. If you're a college student and you eat at Carinderia, a student meal will only cost you about maybe $1.25, $1.50, maybe 70 pesos. That's a student meal already. Rice, veggie, and a meat product, for a student plate. Because they usually have a student discount, makes it cheap for them. Because most of the kids that go to school, I know this because I went to college here in Calibo for 4 years. So my classmates, I saw them, I saw how they live. A lot of them live in dormitories in Calibo, and a lot of them come from different areas here in Calibo, like in Nabas, in Malay. So they just go to school in Calibo Monday to Friday. A lot of them go home to their hometown on the weekends, but they have a boarding house. And the boarding houses, now this was back in 2012 to 2016, so I'm sure the boarding price houses have increased in price. Like Dazzle's boarding house. Dazzle was in a room with 3 other girls. There were 4 of them in one room, 2 bunk beds. And it's basically, the room was basically 2 bunk beds, a space in the middle, nothing else. It almost looked like a closet. And they had like a ceiling fan. And the ceiling fan Dazzle provided. It was a ceiling fan that she bought. And her rent there for that boarding house, for have a space in that one bunk bed, again, 4 girls sharing one room, a closet type room. Her rent there was 1,000 pesos a month, $18. Because, a lot of like the students, when they go to Calibo, they're farmers. Their parents are farmers, fishermen. Like Dazzle, her dad was a tour guide in Boracay. Mom was a masseuse in Boracay. They don't have high income. So it's already a big deal for them to send their kid to college in Calibo. So my classmates, and they were like, some of them, would like not eat breakfast, eat lunch, that kind of budget, or their lunch is like a canned good, like a can of tuna, 15 peso tuna, that's their lunch, and they'll cook rice. That's how, just so that they can go to college, because it's a big deal. It's a big deal here in the Philippines to go to college, here in the province. If you don't go to college, I'll have to close the door here. It's getting, got strong, the rain got strong. If you don't go to college here, this is the same dynamic. You become a laborer. It's hard to like make any money if you don't pursue college. At least here, if you graduate college, you have a chance. If you don't graduate here in the province, you'll end up like a laborer. And that's hard work. Working out in the fields or working in construction. Oh, I gotta like go back down here. All right, JB. One thing I want to work on when I get there is snorkeling, with a goal of going to Coron. All right, Coron. All right, to check out the shallow world. Oh, nice. That's gonna be I used to do a lot of that. I used to do a lot of snorkeling, but now I haven't tried in a long time because my lungs are not as strong anymore because of the treatments I went through. Plenty, it's like that's one of the things I had, JP, when I moved here. I bought my own snorkeling gear. You can get snorkeling gear here, but I had some like primo stuff from Dick's Sporting Goods that I bought, man. It's like top of the line fins, top of the line mask, top of the line everything. That when I brought, because I knew I was going to do a lot of snorkeling here. Here, you have snorkeling gear here, but they're not the best kind. Or you can order it to Amazon now. It's like everybody can get Amazon Prime now. Edgar, wait till I get there, and we can party like it's 1999. That song by Prince. Belize. Is your sub gated with security? Yes, yes, we have security at the gate. They do patrols here in our neighborhood. I never seen in Leyte a subdivision even. Lot of poor province, but everyone very open. I refuse to lend, but oh yeah, and this community here actually for Numancia, this is the only community like this. There's one right next door to us. It's called Legazpi, but I don't think it got developed the same way as Camellia. This is the only one in Numancia, and not many in Aklan actually. Most of the gated subdivisions here are in Calibo. This one in Numancia, but the other towns, I don't think they even have gated communities. Most of the other towns, they're just like people buy land and build on the land. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that here because I like the concept of the gated community. And at the time, we had a swimming pool here till about a year ago. So that was nice for me. You know, I've always been a swimmer. And from the time I moved in here, it took them a couple of years. So I would say maybe 2018, 2019 till 2024, 5 years. About 5 years, we had a nice swimming pool. It just kind of we've lost the swimming pool because we had an issue with our HOA. People weren't paying their homeowners association, so we can't afford the chemicals or the pool guy. But hopefully we can get it turned around because we got a good group now of board of directors. So I think there's plans to revive the swimming pool, hopefully by this coming summer. Yeah, I got burned many times, Belus. No, when I was in college, I would lend. Yeah, I felt bad for my classmates. A lot of times they were, a lot of them, they would approach me. They go, Kuya, I can't make my tuition. I'm going to have to stop school. That kind of story. So I've lost money, but it's not a big thing to me. It's like, it wasn't like large amount of money for me, but I don't lend money anymore either. I'd rather just give money. If somebody's asking me for like 10,000 pesos, if I consider them a friend, I do not want to lose the friendship. I'll just hand them 1,000 and tell them, that's my donation. I can't lend you 10, but I'll give you one. It's like, leave it at that. Because a lot of times when people borrow money here, when Filipinos borrow money here, and a lot of them do, because it's a poor country, it's like it's struggle here. If you don't lend them money, you hurt their feelings and they won't talk to you anymore. It's like, that's kind of like, the common dynamic that I see here. And now, for me, if that happens, I kind of like gauge it, I gauge it to where, is this really a friend or is this really, I want to keep the relationship. That's why I would rather give money. But if not, I just say, sorry, I'm not going to lend money. And then, like I said, a lot of times when I tell people that, you never hear from them again. Employ if someone in need, they may work with my full time. Yes, yes. That's good that you have employees that you can help out the community, Belize. Edgar, thank you for hitting the beach first of the Basi. You have inspired me. All right, all right. Edgar is like the beach landing, right? Like a D-Day. He landed on. That's all right. Don't give up. Don't give up on the dream, JP. At least try it. At least to me, it's like you got nothing to lose. Maybe not, not sell everything, get rid of everything in the U.S. At least you want to try the Philippines. It's like, what's a year? Like, let's say it doesn't work out, you don't like it, and you go back to the U.S. after a year. At least you did it. I think you would have more regret if you don't at least give it a try. Edgar, really my drink of choice, Coke Zero. Coke Zero, LOL. Daniel, I am not a drinker, but would like to tag along. All right, all right. Not a problem, JP. Like our friend from Atlanta, he doesn't drink, so we karaoke the other night. He wasn't drinking. He had like pineapple. Oh, he had like I think pineapple juice or Four Seasons like juice. Or we're not drinkers anyway. I'm not a drinker. I might have one beer, And now I gotta really watch it now. I'm, after my lab work yesterday, I might have to not just give up coffee. I might have to give up alcohol. Period. Not a problem for me. I'm not a big drinker anymore. We will rock the karaoke party every weekend. Gino and Des are all about having fun. All right, all right. Yeah, I mean, it's like not hard. I mean, it's right there at La Casa Española on the fourth floor, the karaoke. And well, for sure our fishing, for sure once the weather allows it, and that you guys know how much Dazzle and Mom, how they like fishing. Not right now because of all the weather we're having. I am a Diet Coke fan. My whole family is Diet Pepsi. Yuck. Yeah, I never was on the soda. I was never big on soda. We don't keep soda. We don't buy soda. Leanna will buy it at 7-Eleven, but we don't buy it for her. That it's a treat for her. Like she saves her allowance and she'll get soda once in a while. I'm moving away because of the Diet Pepsi. The Diet Pepsi. GB, be happy to buy you a cup of tea. All right, right. I got a cup of tea now. A cup of tea. I'm drinking a cup of tea now, man. Who drinks? I was always the designated driver. All right, Edgar. Belize. Look up bad fish. For all you diving needs, top of the line in Cebu, they also have spear gear, deep dive fins. Ooh, nice, nice. I'll have to let me take a picture of that, Belize. I will have to, Dazzle and I, hopefully this coming year, we'll go to Cebu again. I wanted to drive, I wanted to ferry our car to Cebu so I can drive the entire Cebu Island. Because I have a friend there. I have a friend, he lives in Boal, where the sardine run. My good friend Robbie is there. JP, I would like to have a posse field trip to LNL Resort. All right, all right. Actually, we saw Larry, the owner of LNL Resort, JP. We went to Lanang, the Chinese restaurant here in Calibo, and Larry was there with his partner. I was like, "Hey, what's up, Larry?" Yeah, they were eating too at Lanang. Small world, all the way from Pandan Antique. This has got nice resort. You saw that video. You saw that video of LNL. It's a nice resort. It's actually an expat hangout too. A lot of the expats at in Pandan Antique, they get together there on the weekends. Friday night, Saturday night. Larry actually hires like a live band to come out like Friday night, Saturday night. So it's a happy hour kind of deal all the way through the night. Right on the beach, right on the beach. And that beach is beautiful. It's like calm waters during the summer months and not many people. Very, it feels like an exclusive resort. Not many people go to that beach. Trying to cut down on my drinking to 2-3 times a week, Coke Zero. Hey, Michael C., my good friend in Trece, my good friend in Trece Martires in Cavite. Getting a lot of rain here, man. It's like pouring right now. It's like torrential rain right now, man. I can't even take a peek outside there or I'll be wet. I'll get wet outside. It's like torrential rain here now. Area 51 details? You're back? You're back. I've heard of Area 51 but never visited it. I don't know if it's a myth. I don't know if it's like, but I've seen videos. JP, I do like tea. All right, all right. It's becoming popular. I mean, a lot of the cafes here, when you go to the coffee shops, they have tea. Chamomile tea, hibiscus tea, so I think I'm going to drink more tea now because it's supposed to be healthier. Lowell, I want to see the aquarium in Cebu. It looks great. With the sharks, the big tanks, they have a similar one that we went to. We didn't make it to the aquarium in Cebu, but we went to a similar one in Manila when I took Dazzle there. We just ran out of time when we were in Cebu City. There's a lot of touristy things to do in Cebu. Takes time though, because when you go to the place, you got to line up, the traffic. You really need to devote like a whole week at least in Cebu City to like get to see the tourist spots. All right, thank you, Belus. Yeah, thank you, thank you. I like to keep that. I like to get that information. That way, if somebody asks me about snorkeling gear and all that in Cebu, thank you so much. Joel, hey, hello, Gino. We have thunderstorm here too, but you have a typhoon. Oh yeah, I don't think it's coming our way, Joel. It's here, man. We're on the outer, like I said before. It's never like very rare does it ever passes through Calibo area, a typhoon. Usually we're like on the outer edge, but it's gonna bring rain. Like right now, it's like condition orange. Condition orange means a lot of rain and expect flooding. But like I said, we never flood here in our community here at Camellia. But I'm sure there's gonna be, if you keep getting rain like this, the torrential rain, I'm sure there's areas in Calibo that will get flooded. There's areas in Calibo that just are low-lying, like Lacerna area, Oyotorong. There's areas that it doesn't take much to flood on those areas. And then the bridge, I think I'll once I'm done with the live stream here, maybe I can even look on my Facebook here. Because usually what happens, people post on Facebook. You know, they'll take pictures. The bridge, the Numancia Calibo Bridge, there's a marker on the bridge, Aklan River. Aklan River is massive, you know, but when it rains, when we get torrential rains, a lot of water from the mountains, Aklan River gets full, almost sometimes close to the top of the bridge. It's amazing because like on a normal day, if you're on the bridge, if you look down, it's a good 30-40 feet to like the river. So if you can imagine water rising like 30 to 40 feet, you know, and wide, it's a very wide river. It's not like a tiny river. You know, Aklan River is pretty massive. A lot of water coming from the mountains here in Aklan. And that's why it causes flooding in areas of Aklan. There will be flooded areas in Aklan for sure today. I'm hoping I can see some of it on my Facebook because usually that's where people post. Usually people will post the bridge too. There's actually, if you can believe this, and the people in Calibo here, the people been here, can see it, Joel knows it. The bridge, there's Numancia Calibo Bridge. There's actually people living underneath the bridge. There's houses underneath the bridge, like some of them like cement structure. So that's like, man, you know, I know, you know, you have to evacuate if you live in those areas, or especially if your house is like bamboo and nipa hut right underneath the bridge, you know, during this heavy torrential rains. I'm sure they already left. I'm sure they're already in a shelter. 10:40. All right. God bless. Be safe. All right. Be safe, Baluz. Thank you. Enjoy your stay in Wyoming, my friend. I still remember Frank and Yolanda damage. Yes, I wasn't here. Joel is talking about Typhoon, Frank. I think that was like late, I think 2008. That was before my time in Calibo or here in Aklan province. But water rose in Frank. That's like around, I think, 2008. And the flood during that time in Calibo, it was like over 6 feet, you know, in the Poblacion area. You know, everywhere in Calibo was like flooded during that time. But it clears out fast. That's the one thing about, because, you know, once the rain stops, it clears out fast, but it leaves a lot of mud. I saw pictures of it, like mud area. Even like Pastrana area, I saw that Jollibee area there. I mean, they had 6 foot water in Pastrana Park, so I could imagine the amount of water for Frank. And Yolanda, we were here. I was here for Yolanda. Yolanda, it didn't flood. Even in Calibo, there wasn't much flooding as far as Yolanda. But Yolanda, Super Typhoon Yolanda in 2014, that was the one that really damaged like Eastern Visayas, Tacloban City. I remember severe damage. It damaged Aklan province. We did not have electricity here in Calibo area in Aklan province in 2014. 1 month. We didn't have electricity for 1 month. I had to buy a small generator just so to survive. I was living in Calibo at the time. In my apartment in Calibo, when I was living there, I had a small generator. It was to charge my laptop because they made us go to school still. It's like after the typhoon, I think we get like a week break, but we started going to school at SDI College Calibo. We didn't have electricity at the school. It was like, it was hot in those classrooms, I remember. But I made it through, and no electricity in the whole province of Aklan didn't have electricity for a month back in 2014. That was really like that was a test. That was a real test, living in the Philippines. That was like the hardest a month living here wise because no electricity. In the house, I had the generator, so I would charge my laptop, run the fans when it got too hot. But that was the last time we had a big typhoon, Super Typhoon Yolanda, 2014. Is La Casa pretty safe? Yes, I don't expect La Casa Española to have any flooding. The area, it's away from Aklan River. It would really take a catastrophic rain to have flooding at La Casa. And then they built it, whoever built La Casa, because when I park my car there, the parking is up. So the whole apartment complex is elevated from the street. It's higher than the street. I would say at least 4 to 5 feet higher than the street, because the parking, when I park my car, I always go up, and then my car is even like this when parking, so it doesn't flood. Is Dazzle and Leanna good swimmers? Dazzle's a really good swimmer. Leanna, I really need to enroll. She can swim. I'm not afraid of Leanna landing in a swimming pool and drowning, because she can, at least if I throw her in the deep end of a pool, she'll swim to the edge and get out of the pool. Dazzle's an excellent swimmer. She can swim in the ocean. That's how good Dazzle's a swimmer. But Leanna's never had formal lessons. Dazzle never had formal lessons, but she grew by Tabon Beach. So all her life she's been swimming in the ocean. Unfortunately, that's the reason why there's not a lot. You hear this, many Filipinos don't know how to swim, right? That's almost unbelievable when you think about it, because there's 7,000 islands here. But the thing is, unless you live by the beach and somebody taught you how to swim in the ocean, that's how you would learn how to swim here. There's not a lot of, especially in the province, in Calibo, there's one swimming pool, Aklan Training Center, but you have to pay, and there's not swimming instructors that teach people. Swimming pools are not common because they're expensive to maintain. They're expensive to run like a swimming pool here. A lot of places here, even the resorts, they charge you to go swimming. So that's why you see many people don't know how to swim. They don't have the opportunity. They don't have like in the US, when you're young, you can get enrolled in a class. You can learn to swim in a swimming pool. There's a formal instructor teaching you how to swim. A lot of places here in the Philippines don't have that. Daniel, the word on the street is Leanna is a mermaid. Yeah, we call her a mermaid because she loves to swim. She loves to be in the water. Even in the rain like this, she'll go swimming even in the rain. Good day, JP from Fortune. JP, depends on if you need electricity all the time, like for a fan. Howdy, Fortune. Windy and light rain here at La Casa now. Yeah, it's windy everywhere. It's like not light rain. It's like torrential rain here in Numancia, Edgar. That's why I had to close the door and the windows. Rain will be coming into the house if I didn't close the windows and the door. TextPad, hello, TextPad. My good friend Brian in Galveston County, Texas. We're getting ready for the baseball playoffs. That's a big time for me and Brian because we're both baseball fans. So we're like texting, watching the games. Even though he's in Texas, he's watching the games there. We're like communicating on the score. Can't wait, man. Can't wait for the playoffs. Should be a good playoffs this year. Dodgers defending champs. We're going to see if we can keep the title this year. JP, I will fish in the rain. Just don't like the wind for fishing. Vessels fished in the rain. You know, I know she's got a jacket. She's got a hoodie, umbrella. She's fished in the rain. In Laolas, as long as there's no storm, it'll rain. It's not windy. Today is windy because there's a typhoon. Typhoon Oppon. Typhoon Oppon. Daniel, once I get settled, I am getting a Japanese-made genie. Ooh, I don't know what that is. I'll have to look that up, Daniel. Portable genie. Astros have a slim to none chance. Astros have a slim to none chance. We had a scheduled brownout today from 8 to 5, but I think they canceled that. Oh, all right. Yeah, because the scheduled power outage for Edgar at La Casa Española, what that is when they do like upgrade of like power poles, power lines, transformers. What they'll do sections of Calibo. It's not the entire Calibo that has no electricity, but what they'll do is they'll schedule 8 to 5, no electricity area because they're replacing power poles. But today, they're not going to be doing any work today. That's why they canceled the scheduled power outage. Any nearby restaurants? Edgar's just been getting, I think he's just been getting grocery and then carinderia food. I don't think Edgar's tried any nearby restaurants yet. Let me know, Edgar, if you have. Let me know if you tried any restaurants nearby. Have a great day, bro. All right, TextFed. Have a great day, brother. I'm just staying in today. Today is kind of like a stay home kind of day, rainy, watch Netflix. At least I have the Blue Yeti so I can connect it to the, even if the power goes out, my laptop's charged, I got the Blue Yeti. Internet, we're not going to lose internet. That's why I love the Blue Yeti because at least we're not going to get bored. We got like portable fans that, you know. And we won't need fans today because it's nice and cool. It's like 74 degrees, breezy, you know, so not a problem as far as the heat. OB, all right, OB, my good friend Olsen, Aliyah, and Isaiah. Hello, Isaiah. Hello, everyone. Good morning, Kuya. I did the live stream early today, OB, because I was awake anyway. Leanna doesn't have school today. No school in entire Panay Island. I think entire Luzon, pretty much. No school today because of Typhoon Oppon. And it's made landfall, Typhoon Oppon. It's Eastern Visayas, Leyte area, Samar area. Now it's over Masbate. It's now the place where James and Karen's adventures, the place where Michael White, the thriving Philippine expat, where he lives. Typhoon is right over Masbate right now. I'm looking at my Windy app. I got my Windy app here, trying to track the storm. Yep, right there, right. So it's headed north, northwest. Once it passes through Masbate, it's gonna go to like the Bicol region. Like I said, that's normal trajectory of typhoons here, but it affects us here because we're like on the. This one's a big one. This one pretty much. If you look at the map, if you go Google it or go to the Windy app, I mean, almost like the entire Luzon and Mindanao. This storm is big. It's covering two thirds of the Philippines is being affected by this storm. But at least it's not a super typhoon. That's a blessing. At least the super typhoons, they call it super typhoons, especially the winds. When it's over 200 kilometers per hour, that's when they start super typhoon category. This one's just, it's still damaging. My prayers go out to people in Leyte. I'm sure there's going to be severe damage in Leyte. Probably Masbate, there's going to be damage. But at least it's not like the super typhoon, the hurricane, the big hurricane. I am mostly. There are plenty of them, JP. At La Casa Española, like I said, JP, it's La Casa Española when you come out, La Casa, Aklan State University is there. So from the front section on the main road of Aklan State University, there's at least 12 carinderias there. You're not gonna run out of food, in that area. They have. They even have 7-Eleven. Then you got fast food places, not McDonald's or not Jollibee, but like the local fast food, like Angel's Burger kind of thing. That what they cater to the students, because a lot of the college students, of course, that's where they eat. They eat their lunch in that area. You'll see a lot of college students. They're like, that area is like from. Nursing students, medical students, administrative students, just a lot of people in uniform. Because here in the Philippines, when you go to college here, every single student has a uniform. I had a uniform. I had to wear like it was like navy, I think navy blue pants, leather shoes, and white shirt. And then it had I had to wear my ID. It has to go on your neck. There's like a lanyard. They call it lanyard. You put your ID. I had to wear a uniform for 4 years when I went to college here in Calibo. Looks dark in your house. Yes, and I even have this light, man. It looks dark. I even have this light. It is dark. At least I still have electricity. I still have electricity. And it got, now the rain stopped again, so I can open the door again. I had to close the door because when it rains, my door actually gets wet. I have a screen door and then the wood door, but I had to close. Now the rain stopped again. It was like a downpour, and then now it's off and on. The rain is like off and on. Now it's just breezy. Cool air though. I don't even need a fan. It's nice and cool here. I know Dazzle and Leanna, they're gonna be sleeping. Genie is short for, okay. I get it. I get it now. You can get that now. Me, I like the power banks better than the generator. The generator, it just takes work. Getting gasoline, pulling all. I prefer like the power banks now. If I get a bigger one than this, bigger Blue Yeti, a bigger solar energy is what I'm looking at. Carinderias are everywhere. Good local food. Yeah, Edgar's been eating a lot of like the local vegetable dishes. Like I know he's had pinakbet. I know he's had like the ginataan, langka. I know he's tried like the local vegetable dishes. I might not need to cook often. Yeah, like me, JP, when I lived in Boracay Island, when I landed in Boracay Island 2011, I rarely cooked because for me, it didn't make any sense. I was by myself. I would only cook if I missed something that I wanted to eat. Because like on White Beach at the time, Micaela was like my go-to carinderia. It was right on Station 3. And I could eat lunch there. This was back in 2011, 2012. I can eat lunch there for $1. And I could sit on the beach. You know, they allowed you to eat at the beach during that time. So I would get a plate, and I would get a plate. I would sit right. Sometimes I sit on the sand, but they have a table there too, right on the beach. My foot on sand, and I'm eating lunch for like $1. You know, that was my life. That was, you know, that's why for me it didn't make sense to like make my meals. But you know, sometimes I would, you know, just because I missed something. You know, like I might miss like eating breakfast. I might or a BLT sandwich. I'll cook bacon, eggs. You know, so I would buy eggs. But it was nice because I don't have to buy a lot. You know, I could just buy, you know, a package of bacon that I know I'll cook and eat that day. 2 eggs. You know, I don't have to buy the whole thing of eggs. You know, that was one thing nice living in Boracay. And then even the fast food at the time in Boracay, you know, I would eat Andok's chicken. You know, Andok's is like a fried chicken place, and they still have it in Boracay. They now have it here in our town, in Numancia. And they would have Filipino dishes at Andok's. Same thing here. They would have chop suey. They would have sinigang, pork sinigang. It's like soup, sour soup, vegetables in it, and then pork. You know, they would have those at Andok's, and they don't cost much. Even now, you can get an order at Andok's of sinigang or chop suey for like $2. You know. So to me, it's like, why cook? Why cook? You know, like I know you, JP. You'll try a lot of food here, and you won't be cooking much. It's so easy, and then no dishes, you know, no dishes to wash. You know, you just sit down, and a lot of times these karinderya, you know, there's it's comfortable seating. You can just eat there, then done. You got no dishes to wash. You know, when you cook, you have to buy onions. You have to buy garlic, salt, pepper. You know, seasonings. You know, you have to collect all that stuff when you're cooking. And then the food are good, you know, because you're not going to open a karinderya here in the Philippines if you're a terrible cook. You know, nobody's going to eat at your karinderya. Most karinderyas here usually is like nanay or grandma is the cook. You know, somebody in that karinderya knows how to cook. You know, you're not going to open a karinderya or a cafeteria if you can't cook. You know, you would go out of business here. Only if you like cooking. And then, you know, if you're really watching, you know, like, of course, when you're with Filipino food, you know, they have a tendency of frying a lot of oil. So if you're particular with your diet, watching your cholesterol level, you know, maybe, you know, like my friend, he likes to buy and make his own because he's particular. And I'm the same way, you know, I'm the same way now. I'm particular about what I put in my body now because, you know, I'm still recovering. I have to be careful of what I eat. Because that's one thing about Filipino food. It's a lot of oil in Filipino food. A lot of sugar in Filipino food. Even Filipino dishes like adobo, they'll put sugar in adobo. They put sugar in spaghetti, you know, because Filipinos like that sweet taste. You know, their palate is aligned to like sweet taste, and a lot of frying. Unfortunately, a lot of frying pork, a lot of frying chicken, a lot of frying fish. You know, so if that's a big thing, if you're watching that, you know, you can always just buy the fresh fish and grill it yourself, bake it, you know, steam it. There's, you know, maybe if you're watching your diet that way. Because that is one thing you'll notice. That's why, you know, Filipinos here in the Philippines, you know, I'm sure there's like a higher rate of like high blood pressure. Because Filipinos, man, they eat a lot of pork, a lot of fried pork, a lot of fatty pork, skin on the pork, lechon. You know, it's like a popular dish here. Filipinos just don't watch their diet as much as foreigners do. I know that. You know, there's some, of course, not all. I'm not you know, I never want to categorize, but A lot of Filipinos, especially the young people, they're not watching their cholesterol. I mean, you just can go outside Aklan State University, like by La Casa Española. The amount of like street food there, like the fish ball, the kwek, everything's fried. Everything's fried, and the students are just like eating that all day, all the fried food. I love to cook, but have eaten everything I know how to cook too many times. It's only fun if I have someone to cook for. Yes, yes. All right, JP. All right. JP, take the Tao expedition El Nido Coron. Oh, wow, wow. Oh, I'm sure JP will try. I'm sure he'll try all these adventures once he gets here. I watched a video the other day, and a guy was able to purchase a Honda 160 ADV with a credit card. All right, all right. Probably in Manila, probably Cebu City, that those areas. He only had to pay 2,000 pesos extra. It seemed worth it to just swipe and be done with it. Yeah, I mean, at least you saw it. It got done, right? More likely here, I would say more likely Iloilo City, probably. You would be able to use a credit card. Here in Calibo, unfortunately, I've taken people, they try to swipe a credit card on a motorbike. No go, no go. So far, the ones I've seen, I have not found one yet that accepts like an American credit card. Now, maybe a Filipino credit card may be another story. I don't know, not many people here just can swipe. Not many people here that I know can afford to like just swipe and get a motorbike. A lot of times, they go that monthly payment route, like the deposit and then the monthly payment route. After the posse is assembled, I want to make tamales for all right, hey, I'm there. Tamales, I'm there, man. I love tamales. Edgar eating the good stuff. Like the good stuff. Edgar eating the good stuff. Olsen, I started cooking in a huge pressure cooker and would last for almost 4 days. I know, right? That's why, now I don't have a problem because Dad's Liana and when Mom's here. It's not a problem when we cook like a big pot of anything. Usually one meal and then another meal and we're good. We can put away food. Pork sinigang. Pork sinigang is so good. Pressure cooker can cook an 8-hour slow cook meal in 2 hours. Yes, yes. Thanks, Fortune. You seem to have. Oh yeah, I mean, great source for us for anything. Fortune, he's lived his whole life here, traveled here in the Philippines, so he's a good source for us, JP. The Honda was purchased in Dumaguete. Makes sense. Makes sense that it was Dumaguete City. That's the one thing they cater to Americans there. It's like if you're looking for a place that caters to Americans, Dumaguete City is one. Angeles City is another one. Everything that expat related, credit card, steaks, American lifestyle, those two places here in the Philippines, they cater to Americans. They prioritize. Their target audience is Americans, foreigners. They want to attract foreigners in that area. And there's a lot. There's a lot. It's like when I've gone to Dumaguete City, I've seen it. When I've gone to Angeles City, I've even seen it more. The difference between the two, I noticed Angeles City, a lot more Koreans. In Dumaguete City, it's just foreigners, Americans, Canadians, Europeans. There are some Koreans in Dumaguete City, but not as much. When you go to Angeles City in the Philippines, it feels like you're in Korea. There's Koreatown, where the Clark Air Base used to be. For people that were stationed at Clark before, when you come out Friendship Gate, one of the gates, that Friendship area, the Timog area of Angeles City, all Korean now. Korean shops, restaurants, a whole town of like Korea in Angeles City now. Good morning, James and Karen. Good morning. Heavy rain and winds here. Yes, off and on here. Winds, definitely winds. I showed them earlier. Now the rain has come down a little bit, but I think it's gonna be like this the whole day. Glad you guys are back safely in Aklan, man. At least you're back home, so at least you didn't have. I mean, the storm, the Typhoon Oppon is right at Masbate, so you got out of Masbate just right in time. Hey, J&K, all right. James and Karen's, stay safe. Yep, we're all staying safe. We're all staying home. We're not going to go to Calibo today. We're not leaving the house today. We're just going to stay home today. When it's rainy like this, no telling what kind of accidents are on the road. A lot more accidents. People don't know how to slow down here. And then you got to be concerned about, with this type of wind, the power lines here, like even power poles here, like just snapping. Because here in our province, we still have like wooden power poles here. In our community here, we have metal. It's like I've never seen them fall, but in the province on the main highway here, and even Calibo, I have seen it with my own eyes, where a power pole made of wood just like boom, snap like a toothpick, just fall, and then you got live wire on the road here. That happened. The last time I saw it on the main road here in Numancia, 2019 for Super Typhoon Ursula, right on the main road here in Numancia, near Liana School. There was like, I would say, five power lines. One fell, it dragged the others, 5 of them fell. Right on the middle of our little town. We did not have power for like 1 week because they had to repair all the power lines here in Numancia. Hello, JP. Hello, we are okay. OB, all right. Stay safe there, James and Karen. Some of the subdivisions close to Clark actually still have the 120. Yes, I would think so because a lot of the like Timog housing, there's a lot of subdivisions outside of Clark, Diamond subdivision, Clark View subdivision. So a lot of Americans had put in like 120. You can do that here in the Philippines. If you have, I've seen houses here where they have both 220 and 110 power. They just label it, and like the outlet, and the outlet you'll see like 220 plug here or 110 plug here. And what they do is they make one of them like the round. That way you don't accidentally plug it in the wrong, if you got that. But to me, it's just too much hassle, I think, if you plan on bringing a lot of electronics here that are 110. To me, it will last, but eventually you're going to blow it up some way. Some way it's going to be a power surge or something, and your 110 is not going to be destroyed here anyway. So to me, why go through like the hassle of like double doing your outlet like that? Just whatever electronics, just buy it here. That way it's 220. You don't have to like buy a transformer for the 110. Because for me, I had the Wii, back in 2011, that was the game that I had. I don't have any video game anymore. That was the last thing I owned, was that Wii. And of course, it was a 110. And I had to buy a little transformer to it so I can play it in my apartment in Calibo. And then one day, my classmate just accidentally plugged it to the wall without the transformer. So it blew up on me. People can have houses built with two separate voltages and all that. But to me, too much work, And then, stuff like that, something might go wrong, electric wire, that might cause fire in your house. To me, it's not worth it. they got everything pretty much electronic here now in the Philippines. Just buy it here. If there's products that you really want, you can order Amazon Prime. You can order. But I've seen that. I've seen that, especially in Angeles City. I've seen that at houses in Angeles City, at hotels in Angeles City. I've seen that where 220, 110, and like I said, they make one of them like the round holes. That way you don't accidentally plug it in the wrong plug. JP, the thorn Karen step getting on the boat looked like a vine dagger, not a thorn. Ooh, man. I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I haven't gotten caught up with the videos for James and Karen, but I will. Today will be a perfect time. We're not gonna go anywhere today, so I'll catch up on the videos. OB, I heard the unreliable power voltage is causing electronics to die. Yes, yes, that will cause damage here. That's why Filipinos, I don't know how much truth to it. Dazzle does it all the time. Mom does it all the time too. They unplug stuff here because I think that's just ingrained in them. Filipinos think that you don't want to leave anything plugged in unless you're using it. Like Dazzle always unplugs our TV, shuts down our internet when we're leaving the house. Our modem is hooked up to our Wi-Fi. Dazzle shuts it all down. We have like a power strip. She like turns off everything, unplugs everything here. The only thing that's left plugged in when we leave the house is a refrigerator. But that's a Filipino thing. I don't think it's a big thing, but people do that here. They say a lot of it is when something plugged in, the power surge, but I don't know the truth to that. I'm not gonna argue. It's like once we come in, Dazzle plugs everything back. So to me, it's not a big thing. Not a big thing. I've heard people say like their TV, if it's plugged in, if it's a storm, that's not a good thing. But I've always plugged my TV. I've always watched TV in the storm. I've never had a TV blew up on me. But I guess it can't hurt. It can't hurt, like what Dazzle's doing, what Mom's doing. Why people pay to have their own transformer. That's probably expensive. It would be, I'm sure, if you have something, your own transformer in your house, and then, anything electrical, anything, the thing you got to watch out, Olson, here in the Philippines, if you get anything transformer, special electric done in your house, nobody inspects it. There is not an agency here. Like, how in the US, when you build something in your house, there's a home inspector, right? There's an electrical inspector, right? Here, you're basically trusting the person, and how do you do that? Usually, it's a recommendation, like if I need something electric done in the house here, I'm like, I'll go to Facebook. Hey, anybody know an electrician? And it'll be recommended to you, and the electrician comes over. But they're not bonded. They're not bonded like insurance wise. If like my electric that I got put in here, if it's something blew up, there's not a person I can go after like, hey, you installed this thing, you burnt my house. There's nothing like that here. There's no bonded, there's no insurance, there's no, the electric guy, he's not certified. A lot of times the people that fix your house here, fix your electrical, a lot of times they're not certified by anybody. They're just an electrician. They're just an electrician. How did you become an electrician? Oh, my dad taught me, or my grandpa taught me to be an electrician, Especially in the province. It might be different in the city, like Fortune, in Manila, they might have standards. But man, here in the province, we're the wild, wild west here in the province, all the MacGyver that I see here, it's like, people it's notorious here in the province where one person will have electricity, right? And people will sometimes unknowingly will tap into your electricity line, and they're like stealing electricity from you. You got to be careful with that. I don't have to worry about that in a gated community because we all have our meters, and we're a gated community. But that happens here in the Philippines, where unbeknownst to you, you're like you have your house and somebody just like tapped into your electricity, and they're getting electricity in their house. Like I said, the province, man, is the wild wild west here. Good that for good rainy morning, Gino, Dazzle, and Leanna. Stay safe. We are finally back in Manila. All right, back in Manila since Saturday, and from our 3-week journey. Nice to have all met. All right, it's been. I had to look. I was like, but now I know. I got to meet Ben and Mai. We all ate. They treated us, Dazzle and I, and Leanna. They took us to the backyard in Calibo. They traveled here to Panay Island. Was checking out Panay Island. I knew they went to Negros Island too. They're in Manila. He's retired in Manila. They're trying to like find another location because like I said, even for Filipinos, even for Phil Americans, Manila can be rough, a rough place to retire because just the noise, the pollution, the smog, the traffic. It's for me anyway. It's not conducive to retirement. And for Ben, talking to Ben, that's why he's looking at Panay Island. He's looking at Negros Island because he loved Calibo. When he was in Calibo, he said it's just so peaceful. It's like he said he was staying at one of the hotels near Pastrana Park. When he comes out the hotel, there's no noise. There's no noise. It's like he said you could rarely find that in Metro Manila. So me, like that's why a lot of people are retiring here in Panay Island, Negros Island, where Dumaguete is because of that. The Visayan region, Panay Island in Western Visayas, Dumaguete, Negros Island in Central Visayas, it's just a peaceful area. You can ride motorcycles on long stretches of highway where there's no traffic. It's like it's really ideal. You see it, right? You see James and Karen, they're like riding their motorbikes everywhere. You see Michael, Kat, and Laura, they're in motorbikes all over here in Panay Island. Hard to do that if you're like in Manila or even Cebu City. I'd be nervous in Cebu City with all that traffic riding on a motorbike. But here, man, everybody's on a motorbike here. We have very stable electricity here, and my work has transformers to protect the CNC. All right. 440, 3-phase can be exciting during lightning storms. Here, there's really, the thing here with, like, I don't see, like, even with storms, a lot of times, if it snaps a power pole, or it'll just shut down power, and they're not going to work on it during the storm. So that's why, like right now, we have electricity, but it would not surprise me if the power goes out, because that's what happens. The power line will fall down, power pole falls down, power line gets snapped, and it shuts down electricity, and people just wait because if you're the guy repairing, you don't want to be repairing in the storm. It can be kind of dangerous to be repairing in the storm. See many studies about always plug in for decades. Like Dazzle, I unplugged all my stuff, got my mom and the TV and my stator. We had a big storm. All right, let me get some water. Ooh, this one's like flavored, I think. This is the Vita Boost. Vita Boost. Dazzle and Leanna likes buying this. It's called Vita Boost. I guess it's water with vitamin C, what's that? Man, I can't read. B3, B6, B12, cucumber lime flavor. I'll just have to replace this since I'm drinking their drink. They probably bought this at 7-Eleven, but these are delicious. I like them. Cucumber lime flavor. Ooh, that's delicious. That's delicious. Her TV got burned out. Ooh, wow. Good day, Michael C. All right. I ended up buying her a second TV. I believe in buying good surge protectors. That's all we have. We have a good surge protector on our TV. And then upstairs, when I plug in my laptop, I have another good surge. I've never had, my 14 years here, it's never let me down. The surge protectors haven't let me down. I have not lost any electronic device from. I remember growing up as a kid, and it happened usually once or twice, house would be hit by lightning. Maybe that's what they're concerned here too. Maybe they're concerned about lightning hitting the house and it goes all the way to the TV, but that hasn't happened to us. Actually, when it's stormy like this, I don't see any lightning. It's separate, the lightning and thunder, it's just, we do get it. There's times when, man, there's like a really strong lightning and thunder, but during a storm like this, normally, I don't see any lightning. I don't hear any thunder. It's all rain. It's all rain and all wind. And now it's calm again. It's like no rain. It's back to being calm again. It's like, like I said, it'll be like a downpour. It'll stop. Downpour. It'll stop. But we're just staying home. Staying home anyway, just to be safe. Good to see you, my friend. It's my son's Friday, so I can't sleep in. All right. Hey, sleeping in is always good, right? For me, that's one of the things I enjoy. Even though I wake up early, I like not having a schedule. That's the thing I enjoy the most. I can take a nap anytime I want. Just the freedom from not working anymore, not having to show up anywhere. Just going with the flow. It's like I come up with things to do during the day when Dad wakes up. We never know what we're gonna do, and I like that. I like that. Like, hey, let's go to the gym. Hey, let's eat in Calibo. Hey, we go to Washington. Hey, let's go to Boracay. It's like we can just spur the moment things. Good day, JK. Good day. James and Karen in Balete. Hey, Gino, my fellow Aklanon. All right, my fellow, what's up? My fellow Aklanon. I guess I am an Aklanon now. I wasn't born or raised here, but I've been in Aklan now for 14 years. I don't speak Aklanon. I can understand a little bit, but I guess I'm Aklanon now since I've been here 14 years now. Nice, OB. All electrics are on surge protector. All right. We'll get 2020 surge protector when, plenty of them here. You don't have to pack surge protectors here. They got some of the same brands. There's a Wilcon Depot here in Makato, not far from our house, about 10-15 minutes from our house. Wilcon Depot is gigantic, and what amazes me is like it's almost always empty. I don't know how they stay in business because it's this massive warehouse, a Home Depot type warehouse, all kinds of American products there, tiles, toilet, showers. I've filmed it before. Barbecue, gas barbecue grills, refrigerator. All American products, like the brands like Maytag brand, American products that I've seen in the States, and couches, furnitures. And every time I go there, it's like there's more employees than shoppers. It's like you walk in there, it's like you get swarmed. You get swarmed by people. Like I'm going in there if I'm purchasing like something for my car. You know, they got car stuff there too, or a surge protector. I'm just looking for a surge protector. I walk in there and there's like four people. Sir, can I help you? Sir. I'm like, dang, I'm getting attacked, swarm. You know, I'm a customer. You know, so there's like 4 or 5 people like. But I guess you don't have to worry about looking for somebody for help. You know, they sell paint. They sell. I mean, it's just gigantic. Wilcon Depot, and you can get anything there. You know, they're bigger than Ace Hardware. There's a Ace Hardware here too, and there's City Hardware. But man, that Wilcon Depot, man, is gigantic. Now they don't have cheap stuff in there though. You know, like all those American products at Wilcon Depot, a little bit pricey, even for microwave, even for the brands that you're familiar, they're there, but a little more pricey. Not cheap at Wilcon Depot. My plan is to relax on weekends and go. Yeah, that's a smart plan, JP. That's what we do. Usually Saturday or Sunday, we try to avoid going to Calibo at the malls in Calibo. Sunday is not as bad. You know, most people here in the province, I notice, even in Calibo, on Sundays people stay home. You know, it's really a rest day. You know, it's really a rest day for a lot of people, especially a long week. But I take care, like, if I have to go to the bank, if I have to go shopping anywhere in Calibo, grocery shopping for sure, I do it on the weekdays. I do it when everybody else is at school or everybody else is at work. That's smart, Daniel. I had to replace a few power supplies on my desktops. All it takes is one lightning storm to ruin your day. Man, now you guys, well, I got my TV hooked up to a power source, and I haven't had an incident, and I don't see lightning. So, but thank you also. Now make me, you know, at least Dazzle takes care of it. Like I said, she's good at unplugging stuff, turning stuff on when we leave the house. That's my plan too. All right. Seattle, Washington. Happy Friday, my bro Gino. All right. It's cloudy and partly raining here in Seattle. Is there a casino in Aklan, Boracay, or Rojas? All right. There used to be in Boracay. But the casino in Boracay were geared towards the Chinese. One of Dazzle's friend actually worked at that casino in Boracay. Even back then, though, it was hush hush. You know, it wasn't really like known. They weren't advertising it. At a casino. I think it was a move and pick. But a lot of the casino games were Chinese. We know because Dazzle's friend worked it. You know, she was working at the casino and she had to learn all these Chinese gambling game. You know, she had to learn how she was like a dealer, I guess, but it's a Chinese gambler. So, but I have now heard that since the pandemic and then after the pandemic, we don't get many Chinese anymore here in Aklan province. There was a time when we had direct flights from Wuhan, China, of all places. Wuhan, China to Calibo. We used to get like 2 flights, I think, every week. 400 people from Wuhan, China. We would get people from different parts of China direct to Calibo. We don't get that anymore. Of course, doesn't help the economy here in Aklan province. But there was a time when in Boracay Island, we would get close to 1 million Chinese tourists a year. We're not even, I don't think we even get 10,000 now. You don't see many Chinese people now from China. You still see Chinese people, but most of them come from Manila, you know, Filipino Chinese, you know. The direct flights from China, I've not heard them now for a good year. They stopped coming here. You know, there's friction now between the Philippines and China. They keep bullying ships in the West Philippine Sea. They keep doing things here that are. I just saw Michael White. He shared on um, with me. I got the picture of it. They just caught 9 Chinese people in Masbate. In Masbate, right? That's an island here in the Philippines. That they were illegal mining. I was like, what the heck? Right there, it says there. 9 Chinese nationals arrested for illegal mining in Masbate. To me, man, the Chinese, I guess I would call them tourists, right? They're not legally supposed to work here in the Philippines, but they come here to the Philippines to work. And like here, illegal mining, they just do shady things. The people come, there was another one here in Boracay Island. This happened in Boracay Island. I always kind of keep track of this. Right there, it says here, right there, these 2 guys right here. The Bureau of Immigration arrests 2 Chinese nationals from illegally managing Boracay establishments. So, to me, they just keep doing illegal things here in the Philippines. Somehow they make it here and they're working here, they're running businesses here. To me, the Chinese people coming from China, they just do shady things here. You're not supposed to do that here, right? If you're a foreigner coming into the Philippines, even on an SRRV visa, you're not supposed to be like doing all these illegal things. Illegal, period. You're not supposed to be doing illegal. But that's always been associated with Chinese people coming from China here. Everybody, I don't know if you've heard POGO, the illegal online gambling. The Chinese were running that here in the Philippines for many years. I'm sure it's still going on. You can't stop illegal. Oh, raining hard again. Raining. I got to close the door again here. That's one thing about illegal activity. No matter what you do to stop it, it's going to happen. It's like, that's like saying, we can end drug activity anywhere. You can't end drug activity. Drugs are always going to be around. Same thing here with all the illegal stuff that Chinese people from China doing here in the Philippines. And to me, man, you got to start worrying about, these people that come here illegally from China to the Philippines. Who's saying that they're not spies? It's like China is the enemy. It's like they're not a friend. It's like I don't understand why. Well, I'm sure it's corruption again. I'm sure there's some corruption going on. That's why we're seeing all these illegal Chinese coming to the Philippines. But as far as casino, I know it's the casinos here in the Philippines that I know. Manila, of course, got a lot of casinos, and Angeles City inside Clark. I have not heard of a casino in Rojas City, Aklan, Boracay. There was a time that there was Chinese casinos in Boracay, but not right now. I don't know. There was talk, during the previous administration that they were gonna build 500 million, $1 billion casino in Boracay, but that's gone. Because that was gonna be China was gonna build that casino in Boracay, and people here in the Philippines just don't trust the Chinese anymore. It's like all the Chinese contracts before, they were building supposedly building bridges, roads, infrastructure here in the Philippines. Those are all canceled. There's no more Chinese companies building here, because a lot of those Chinese companies, when they said they were building roads, bridges, infrastructure in the Philippines, they were hiring Chinese. They were like bringing in Chinese from China. They weren't even employing Filipinos here. They were just basically, putting the Philippines in debt to them. That way they can grab like assets here in the Philippines. Same thing they're doing all across the world. OB Adventures. Gone are the days when we used to get quality customer service here in the US. Most big stores only have a handful of workers. Not a problem here, Olson. Not a problem here. When you go to a hardware store here, when you go to a department store, when you go at SM, when you go to a clothing store, a hardware store, you are going to get swarmed with people helping you. I think because they get a commission. I think on the sales or because what I notice when I pay something at those places, there's like a signature or the badge number or the person that helped me, they'll show it to the cashier. I think maybe even 1% of the sale, the employee get a kickback, so it gives them incentive, right? It gives them incentive. But you will not have if you go to SM Mall, department store, if you go to like Wilcon Depot, City Hardware, there will be 2-3 people helping you. There'll be like, when you buy an electronic product here in the Philippines, they have to test it. You can't just, like when I bought the TV here, I have like, I think this is a 45-inch TV. When I bought it from the store, they have to test it. I can't just like get the box and walk out the box with me. They have to like unbox it, plug it in, make sure it works. They actually had to like, I remember when I bought this TV, because it's a smart TV, they even like helped me like register it or something, that way I could access Netflix, those kind of things right there at the store. They took the time to do that for me. That way I don't have to read the book when I got home. So they do that, they plug it in, and then once it works, you're good. They pack it the same way, the styrofoam, everything. They put it back, they tape it, they tie it, and then they'll take the TV to the car. I don't even have to carry it. I don't even have to carry it, man. They'll carry the TV, put it in your car. But once it's in your car, that's yours. I think they have like a 7-day policy to return electronics. Very difficult after the 7 days if something happens to the TV. It's still covered. It's still covered by warranty, but not the store. It'll be warranty with like this one is a Hisense, so I would have to find like the repair shop for Hisense. I think I had a 1-year warranty on this TV. At least you have some kind of warranty. It's hard to return things here. That's why even a light bulb, if you buy a light bulb here, they have to test the light bulb. They have to take it out of the package, plug it into like a thing, turn on, make sure it works. Anything electronics, anything that needs juice, electricity, they will test it before you leave. But plenty of people to help you. Not an issue here. Not an issue here. The guy is sweeping off the sidewalks now. It stopped raining for now. No leaves on these sidewalks. All right, Edgar. I'm inside now, Edgar, because it's like raining now. Raining harder now. More wind. Just gonna be a stormy day here in Aklan. Eugene, all right, my good friend in New Washington, Aklan. All right, nearby. He's not far from me here. I have to, Eugene, we got to hook up one time, man. I got to go visit you in New Washington so I can finally meet you in person. It's storming like crazy here. New Washington, they're right on the water in New Washington. The Tambak area where Hayahay, all those restaurants, the seawall, that's the area. Even like the Junkster Cafe, I made a video, the Junkster Cafe, that's right on the water. That's right on the seawall there where Eugene is. I know Eugene, I know your wife, I think runs Carinderia, right? I think I've seen the pictures. So I might have to check out your Carinderia. I have to check out your Carinderia, Eugene. When the storm is over, maybe I'll plan on, I'll message you. We're friends on Facebook. I'll message you, Eugene, so we can finally meet in person. I'll tell you. I know you're interested about bowling. I'll let you know how that bowling alley in Calibo works. I was surprised when there was 5 employees helping me in SM when I was buying a new luggage. I wasn't used to that. I know, man. I'm telling you, Olsen, that will happen. You'll get swarmed by all of these salesperson like helping you. It's like you can make them work too. It's like I know Dazzle when she's like shopping for shoes or anything, she'll say, this one's kind of tight. Can I get a bigger size or smaller size? I mean, they're like running. They're like running. And then they end up showing you other stuff. It's like, Mom, you might like this too, Mom. They'll do that to Dazzle. I mean, you feel like you're like a VIP, the amount of people that help you. Even if your electrical is turned off, it's still using like called phantom power. I think that's what Dazzle believes. I think believes in that, Daniel. That's why Dazzle unplugs our electronics here. When I come down here in the morning, first thing I do is like I go online and I want to turn on my TV, and I'm like, it's not working. My TV's not working. Everything's unplugged. Dazzle shuts everything off. In Angeles City, lots of Korean-owned bars, clubs, and underground gambling. Koreatown is bigger now. Yes. I've seen it. The last time I was there, 2023, 2 years ago. So I'm sure it's even gotten bigger than what it was. But it won't be long till they pretty much run, Koreans will pretty much run Angeles City. I know all the expat bars, mostly expat businesses, they've been replaced by Koreans. I saw on Pina News, call centers got busted for running a huge scam, dating sites and online casinos. Nearly 1,000 Chinese were arrested in just 1 week. Yep, it's like, that's why I don't understand all these illegal things that the Chinese are doing here in the Philippines. I remember there was a big scam before. I wish I kept the article, but they were just flying in Chinese a few years ago, landing at the airport, and they were just cruising by customs, like a tourist visa. They're just coming in here like in the hundreds. And they're coming here to the Philippines. They're like illegal coming in the Philippines and then working here in the Philippines. Because, again, the corruption, it's hard to stop corruption here in the Philippines. Somebody's getting paid off. Somebody's making money from them. One day, at the Panay Island, I will try y'all about dating a Chinese in Nightmare. I'm a Chinese movie star in a nightmare. All right. I've gone long on this live stream. I'm gonna end it here. I got to the bottom here. What is the name of your wife's restaurant? I want to mark it, so I go. Yes, Eugene. Maybe he's still watching. Maybe he'll put the name. I can look it up. I'll look it up, JP, because I'm friends with Eugene. I'll look on his Facebook, and then I'll send it to you. I'll email it to you after the live stream here. I know I'm friends with Eugene anyway, but I know his Filipina wife. I know runs Carinderia, in New Washington, and I'm sure it's good food because I see expats even eating there. I'm sure they're friends with Eugene, like me. I want to support Eugene. I might blog it, that way people know it's in New Washington, Aklan. What kind of movies? What kind of movies? It's Chinese movies. I don't really, I know Dazzle and Leanna, they watch a lot of Korean drama, but me, I haven't seen a lot of Chinese movies. All right, I got to the bottom here. Just want to say, everybody, thank you again for joining the live stream. I'm just gonna make breakfast here. I still got electricity, so that's a cool thing. I can make me a breakfast burrito here and just stay in the house, watch Netflix, catch up on my YouTube videos. All right. Take care, everyone. Everybody, I know it's Thursday, so it's not the weekend yet, but have a good Friday, like a TGIF Friday in the US. Take care, everyone. Everyone stay blessed.